community. Kindly support this Soho shared identity in our spaces, noting hate, political, religious, and/or racially focused. Then I can't see the rest. I'm sorry.
Oh, racially focused debates, discussion are not permitted.
Thank you.
No problem. So this is what, as long as you self-identify here, then you're in the right meeting for sure. That being said, as we go through the meeting this evening, we just want to make sure, well, number one, this is a safe space. You definitely can feel confident that what you're saying here stays here. And along with that, we are not having any discussions with regards to the pandemic at this time. We see enough of it in the media. We don't really need to bring it here. So, because for some people, it's a little bit of a touchy spot and they have anxieties and stuff. So we just want to be aware of that, and so that everybody knows in advance. Try your best not to bring it up. Along with that, we had a workshop last Sunday that Camille presented with regards to the Caribbean Canadian identity. And in that being said, we would like everybody here, if you have to refer, we don't want to hear Black. We want to hear the proper term, Caribbean Canadian, going forward. So just a reminder, I know it's a little bit of a switch. You know, we know when we're in here, this is what we're supposed to do. But then when we're in our personal lives, we sometimes don't do it. I mean, I get caught too. So just a little more consciousness of using the terminology that we've put forward. Okay, is that all right with everybody?
Yes, and just to kind of what you're saying, Bev, thank you.
Yeah.
And for those who weren't here the last meeting with our discussion around the topic that Bev just talked about, there's a link. I'm pretty sure you can go on our channel, YouTube channel, or also I'm pretty sure that Camille probably sent this link out. You can watch it just to get a really, so it was a great conversation and discussion around the topic. And for me, it was more of an education as well. So it was great. So it would be great for you guys to go ahead and watch that if you're not too familiar with what we're talking about. Thanks, Bev.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm hearing somebody talking. Okay, so that being said, Camille, we're going to pass it over to you for your updates.
Thank you, Beverly. Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you. Welcome to some of our new, I think there's a new member here, Marva. I don't think we've met Marva before, so welcome. Welcome, Marva. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here. Okay, so my name is Camille. I'm the founder and president of these 3 different not-for-profits that are showing on the screen. So each of you belong to one or more of these not-for-profits. It's a combined meetup, a combined level up meetup. And the 3 different organizations, one is a women's group called Caribbean Women's Society. So you may have applied to join that particular membership, or you may have applied to join Caribbean Canadian Parents United, or the 3rd one is Caribbean Canadian Chamber of Commerce and Community. Each of them are separate not-for-profit registered corporations. They have their own separate boards of directors. They have their own separate members. But on Sundays, we come together because that's what we're trying to do in this community is bring us together more often in a safe space to have fun, to get to know each other, to make new friends, to converse. So welcome and thanks for joining. I hope everyone is keeping safe and optimistic during these uncertain times. And I'm going to just echo what Beverly mentioned. This went out in an email. So every Monday, the members get an email, and it basically just reminds you to log into the portal and check the activity page for any updates. or check the events page if you want to register for programs or meetups like tonight's meetup. So our main way that we communicate with our members is through the portal. If you're having issues logging in or finding information on the portal, send an email. So there's a contact button, like as a contact page there on the website. Send an email and say you need help, because that is our main way of communicating. So a reminder again, as what Beverly was mentioning, tardiness and absenteeism, these things we're going to tighten up now in 21, and then using the term Caribbean Canadian in our spaces. Okay, so moving forward, a reminder that we have our re-elections taking place Sunday, February 21st, online. And it's also our annual general meeting. So we'll be talking about the plans for 21, and we'll also know who the new board of directors for each of the three organizations. We're combining even the re-elections process because all three of these organizations are partners. So right now where we are in the phase, the re-elections phase, is the candidates have accepted their nomination and they're having a group meeting on Monday, which is tomorrow, to walk them through the re-election process, what's going to take place on the 21st, and then going over the requirements and important dates for the new board of directors. 3 different boards of directors. So save that date, February 21st, 6 p.m. Our Be Astonished challenge is still going on strong. So we started this challenge in December for members to ground themselves, to remind themselves what they have. Even during a pandemic, we still have a lot to be grateful for. And so we've been every day, like clockwork, submitting on an online form 5 things that we're grateful for every day. And that's going until the 31st. It was supposed to end what was it? I can't remember now. Was it the 10th, I think? Yeah, it was the 10th.
The 10th.
And due to popular demand, they said, let's go all the way to the 31st. So there are some of us who are still chugging along every day. So great job to all the Caribbean Canadians here who are making an effort, staying positive and finding things to be grateful for. I wanted to highlight that somebody put in there, she's grateful to celebrate another birthday. And then right after that, somebody said, Mama Bev, happy birthday, Queen. So I just want to take a minute and say happy belated birthday to Beverly.
Thank you.
It's totally slipped me. You did mention it. It was last Friday, right?
Yes.
So happy belated birthday
Happy
to Beverly.
birthday, Beverly. Belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that is something definitely to be grateful for. I'm grateful for that too. All right, so these are some of the submissions that the members have been putting in. I think we're almost at 500 submissions, right? Because it's 5 every day. And I think it was about 15 to 20 people every day. So I think we're about 500 or so different things that we're grateful for. So it really reminds us, right? So much to be grateful for, even during these times. Things that you take for granted, right? Basic things, fish in the sea. I don't know who put fish in the sea, but all of a sudden I have fish in my background. I don't know if it was a coincidence or what, but fish in the sea, something to be grateful for. Potassium, iron, calcium, self-love, his lawyer. Somebody's thankful for their lawyer, right? Heartbreak, you live and you learn. So thank you. Keep up the great work. We're going all the way to the 31st, and then we'll see what happens from there. Something tells me we'll want to continue after the 31st. Oliver mentioned that we just got through a workshop last Sunday, the 17th. It was open to members and people who are interested in becoming members. But the mandatory requirement is you had to be of Caribbean descent. So I sent that link in the portal. I also sent it to you by email. It's actually a requirement at this point that all members, if you weren't there on the 17th, all members and directors are required to watch this video so that you have a really good understanding of the organization and what you signed up to be a part of. All right, so, I should also mention that we're live on YouTube right now. So I am just going to paste the link in the chat, the live, oh, hold on. I'll paste it in a second. And then if you care to share it right now, you can share it with people on your social media, tell them to listen in. It won't be for the whole time we're on. As soon as we start talking about confidential stuff, it's coming off, right? But this is generic information that people can get to learn who we are and see the kinds of stuff that we have going on. So I'm gonna move on. Me First. Me First is a program coming out of Caribbean Women's Society, going really strong. It's a boot camp for Caribbean Canadian women, and it's to boost their self-confidence and self-esteem, and also to create long-lasting friendships and bonds. I'm a part of that program, that boot camp, and I can tell you I already made lifelong friendships just being a part of this boot camp since the 2nd of January. So here are some, I just copied and pasted some of the feedback on one of our most recent discussions. Obviously, I don't put any names. Who is in the program is confidential. I'm just sharing because it's me. So I'm telling you I'm a part of it, but it's a confidential space. And this is some of the stuff that we're discussing. Our next round for this Me First boot camp, you have to be a member of Caribbean Women's Society, is March 3rd. Okay, so if you want to join the Me First boot camp, it's the next round starts March 3rd and it's for 10 dates and you have to attend every date. That is mandatory, it's a requirement. Women who are going to be on the 21 board of directors, this is a part of their training, their leadership training. So anybody joining the board in 21 is required to go through this boot camp. I strongly encourage women of Caribbean Women's Society to consider being a part of this sacred circle that we started here. It was a pilot that we started on January 2nd, and because of the overwhelming success that it's had so far, we're only the 24th of January, we're gonna keep it going. We also started a new program at our Chamber of Commerce and Community. The nickname for it, by the way, is C5, because there are 5 C's in its name, Caribbean Canadian Chamber of Commerce and Community. It's called the C5 Exchange. It's where the C5 board, they are meeting with the student presidents and co-presidents and executives. Some of these universities and colleges have Caribbean clubs, and we want to build a bridge for these students. So by the time they graduate, they know exactly where to land. They know where the next safe space is to land. So when they're out there in the real world, they have guidance from mentors, Caribbean Canadian mentors. They're having help with networking to find help them with their career, maybe volunteer opportunities to build up their credentials and their resume. They have a safe space to land when they graduate. In the meantime, we're building relationships with these students before they graduate. They're still in school right now, but we want to get to know them now, and they need to get to know us now. So we started this exchange. It's a 4-week program. The first round started last Thursday, going to the 11th. Once a week, we meet up with these students on Zoom, and we're just talking about things that matter to them. They submit what they want to discuss, and they meet with the board of C5, the board of directors. So last week we discussed, here was the question last week, during these hard times of COVID, it's hard to keep motivated. This is what the students are saying. It's hard to keep motivated to do work when you're stuck at home. What techniques have you used to motivate your team as well as yourself? So the directors were sharing their tips and advice. The students themselves were sharing tips and advice. And then they are to submit lessons they learned from that discussion. Right after the meeting ends, they're required to submit the lessons that they've learned. So we're keeping track to make sure that, you know, that everybody is getting something out of it. Actually, I'm gaining from it too. Actually, that's why we call it an exchange. It's not a mentorship, it's an exchange. They're sharing information with us and we're sharing information with them. And we're all learning through these discussions. This was fun, Oliver. Oliver, this was fun. Yeah. The next level convo. So I invited Oliver to join me on a live stream last Friday. And we see how it goes, right? But talking about things that maybe Caribbean Canadians not used to talking about. So it's out there on YouTube on our channel. I thought I'd play a clip if you don't mind. Very interesting conversation. Okay, so hold on, let me just bring it to the right place. I'm going to 48 minutes. They could look like anybody. Hold on. Oh yeah, they could look like anybody.
Yeah.
Hold on. How do I stop this?
Interesting, huh?
Okay, here we go. Let me go back. 48, 50. Okay, it's close enough. Yeah, and great cause. It's a great cause, and there's nothing wrong with the cause. Can you hear? Are you hearing the video? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Candy's saying a little bit.
Kind of low. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Oh, here we go. The volume. 1 sec. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it now. My focus is on people of Caribbean descent, right? Because Black History Month has nothing to do with people of Caribbean descent. If it did, then it would include people who don't speak English. It would include people who don't look Afro, because Caribbean is not just Afro or African.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's Spanish, it's Indian, it's Chinese, and all these other ethnicities. So if Black History Month was for Caribbean people, then it would have all those different ethnicities.
Correct.
Right.
Wow.
So not to take away from that cause, but my challenge here for the people of Caribbean descent is to try to make an effort to detach from labels, go more towards your identity. Afro-Caribbean, Jamaican, Canadian, Caribbean, Canadian, those things have nothing to do with your color. When I say this person is Jamaican, Canadian, you have no idea what that person looks like. If I'd say to you, I just met a Jamaican Canadian the other day, you have no idea what that person looks like.
Correct.
I haven't told you yet.
Yep.
They could look like anybody.
Anybody.
Oh yeah, they could look like anybody.
Yep. Interesting, huh?
The other challenge I have is for people who were born here in Canada, like myself. I used to be one of these people who used to say, when people used to ask me, what's your background? I would say, well, I was born in Canada, but my parents are from Trinidad and Tobago. Stop saying that. When people ask you what's your background, you say it's Trinidad and Tobago. Now, for me, the reason why I never used to say it back in the day, even though I was very connected to the culture, my parents, man, that's all they knew. They couldn't teach me Canadian culture. They taught me Trinidadian culture. That's what they know. So for me, the fear was that I would be quizzed. If I say my background is Trinidad and Tobago, I figure they're going to ask me, well, who was the prime minister in 1972?
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Right?
It.
That's what I thought was going to happen. I was going to get put on a pop quiz right away on the spot. Tested. And guess who I thought was going to quiz me? My own people.
Interesting.
I never thought it would come from anybody outside of my own community. I thought if I tell my own peoples that they would want to put me to the test.
Because you wanted to fit in.
Right. So the second challenge is stop saying, I was born here, but my parents were born there. Stop saying that because words have meaning, right? Words have meaning. When you say that, you're disconnecting yourself from the culture in your language.
Oh.
You're basically telling your audience or the person on the other end that you are not the same as your parents.
Yeah.
And you're creating that little space between you and where you're descending from. Stop saying it.
We're dividing. Yeah.
Stop saying it. Just so you know, other communities don't say that. When you ask somebody what's their background, they say they're Pakistani Canadian, right? Or they say they're from Pakistan. And you don't bother, were you born there or was it your parents? Nobody ever comes back with that response. When you say you're from Pakistan, you mean you or your parents? Nobody ever says that, but that's the fear. I'm saying this, Oliver, because I know that there are a lot, including my own circle of friends.
Oh, no, I know. I've
family.
seen it. I've seen it. Yeah.
Yes.
I know. Yeah.
And to be honest, we do get backlash sometimes from certain people who were born in the Caribbean. Well, you weren't born there, so you're not really Caribbean. We get the backlash from people who were born there.
And it's interesting you say that because they don't mean it that way, but after a while, it becomes that way.
Yeah, so please stop saying that. Those of you who were born in the Caribbean, please stop saying that. Well, you are really born there, so you're not really Caribbean. Stop saying that. You're not helping to bridge the gaps, the disconnects, the divide in our community. So it goes both ways. If you're born here, stop making excuses in your language. I was born here, but my parents are from so-and-so. Nobody needs to know that. That's not relevant. What does it matter? In our space, we don't check your birth certificate. We don't ask you for a copy of your birth certificate when you join this membership. We don't ask you for a copy, so don't worry, you can relax. We're not checking. This is not the mafia. Right? Okay, slowly preparing. Moving on. So that's a little sneak peek. It's on live stream if you're interested. And we're going to be talking about a lot of things that we're not talking about in our community. So brace yourself, put on your seatbelt. Put on your seatbelt, because we'll be talking about a lot of things that we've been thinking, but haven't really said out loud for many different reasons. It's time. It's time. Because there's no more fets to go to. There's no more fets, unfortunately, right? So you might as well do something else with your time. Let's talk. Okay, so community chats. This year, remember, we started this last year to build bridges between the generations. We're welcoming Caribbean Canadians 55 plus to join these organizations, right? 18 all the way to 55 plus. Bridge those gaps. And we want to hear what topics matter to them. Okay, we want to bring back the community chat segments. I'm speaking specifically to the Meetups committee right now. When we have 55 plus on the calls, if they could share with us, maybe in the chat or maybe on the feedback form, the section there that says suggestions and comments, you're putting in there what you want to talk about in an upcoming meetup. Okay, that's the community chat segment. We want to bring that back. And that is it for my updates, Beverly. Thank you.
Thank you. Oliver, did you just want me to continue with the?
I can.
All right then.
Okay. Thanks, Camille. I just brought back some memories from last Friday.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. And to Candy, you can join us on the live feed and interact with us. I know Candy said she wish she knew about it. Now you know. And for those who want to join us on the chat. You can interact with us from the chat, from the live chat, and we can go from there. So thanks for that update, Camille. Speaking of programs and things going on, we have some more updates from other programs as well. So I'm going to call on Danielle to talk about our yoga.
Hey, good night, everyone. Happy Sunday.
Good night.
So for yoga, we had our Sun Up Sunday stretch this morning. One update that we have for our yoga and deep breathing sessions is that we are adding Caribbean and yoga fun facts to our sessions. So this morning we shared a few good fun facts about Guyana and Kemetic yoga and I guess you could say I don't want to say prehistorical, but older yoga, some older yoga facts. We are still looking for a member to join our task force. There's still a position open, so anyone who is looking to join a task force, feel free. Send a message to me over in the members portal, and we can catch up and get you signed up. Of course, we still have our Tuesdays, Tune-Up Tuesdays, and Therapeutic Thursday bedtime yoga stretches are more slower paced, and our Sunday sun-up yoga sessions are a little faster paced to get your muscles warmed up and going for the day and for the week. Outside of that, I don't have any new updates aside from those. That's where we're at right now.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. And now moving along to, I'm going to call on Desiree to talk about the book club.
Good night, everyone. The book club is meeting this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. to review our up and coming book that we've been reading the last 6 weeks. And on Friday, we will start our next 6 weeks self-guided reading, where we'll be reading we're currently reading Till the Well Runs Dry, but in the next 6 weeks reading, we will be reading The Star Side of Bird Hill. And you can check the members portal for more information on the dates and to RSVP, as well as the book titles and the authors. Thank you.
I realize that I'm muted. Thank you very much, Desiree. Next up, we are going to call upon Lisa to talk about CCKC.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So once again, CCKC is a kids club. It's a safe space for kids ages 4 to 14. We meet every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. This week for our update, Miss J put together a little video for us. So if you pay attention to the shared screen, you can see our update for this Tuesday. Thank you, Miss J, for doing that.
Let me know, give me a thumbs up if you can hear.
Been a blast, from sightseeing the fortress to seeing the castle, from chilling on the beach to making blanc manger, which, by the way, I gotta show you some pictures of what it turned out this week. It's time to say au revoir, as this Tuesday is our last Tuesday in Haiti. So on our way back to Canada on our flight, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna do a show and tell. As for me, I'm trying to think of what to do, but I think I'll keep it simple and just go with the flow. So stay tuned, as we'll be hitting the air once again come February, and I'll keep you posted. Au revoir. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks again,
Before-
Miss J.
Yeah, that was awesome. Before you continue, there was a comment that Jay got on our channel. Jay, somebody saw your video, the one where you were sharing your recipe for the Haitian dessert. And you got a comment, I'll read it to you. Love this CCKC team. Tons to enjoy and delight from in the Haitian culinary world. Cooking plus learning how to goal set equals the perfect meal to get you full for success.
Awesome. That's great.
Good.
Nice to hear. Thanks
Love
for
it.
sharing
Love
that,
it.
Camille.
Mhm. It's good.
Yes, that came through. I think it was today, actually.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
Wow, that's great. Thanks, Jer. That's it. Moving along, we are gonna pass it over if Mark is ready. Life Hacks with Mark. I know we're all looking forward to this. I know I am. So Life Hacks with Mark. Let's go. You up?
Wow, you're putting the pressure on. Thanks a lot, Oliver. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. So this week, I'm going to walk through some life hacks. Sorry, guys, give me 1 second. All right, so we're going to talk about life hacks this week, and and we are talking about the work from home edition. And it's not just work from home. There's a lot of people out there who are in school, and well, they're working from home as well, but not just working. Guys, it's not just working from home in a professional manner. So I mean, if you use a computer, you sit at a desk. We're targeting everyone that does those types of things. So I'm going to talk about that this week. This is part 2 because I did part 1, I think back in November or maybe in December, and just kind of walk through some life hacks around that. But we'll focus on a few other things. I didn't quite get finished on the last session, so let's go through and see. Now, I did share this screen before, and does this look familiar to anyone? I mean, when COVID first hit, you know, for me personally, I was struggling a little just to find space to work at home, and where do I go? Where do I sit? Where do I, you know, conduct my meetings and then all of that? So I found this actually hit home for me. You know, kind of taking my laptop from place to place and trying to find a spot. So I'm squatting all over. Somebody, I think I heard somebody just comment.
Yeah, Mark, I said that's me in the middle right now. Right now, that's me in the middle.
Professional from waist up, that's another one as well, right? So, and I know that probably a lot of us do that. So not a bad thing, just don't get up too fast on with the video on. And then the last one there is just around video calls. I mean, I'm walking around with my laptop and I still do this, you know, having kids and, you know, they don't fully understand sometimes when you're in a professional setting and trying to have a meeting. So I'm just kind of navigating from room to room, walking around with my laptop, sitting by the window. So just wanted to share that. Not sure if anyone has any comments there.
I can relate. Even though I do have a desk, I can absolutely relate. Unless there's a video call that I have to be on, I'm literally in like tights and shirt, like gym attire, you know.
Exactly. So I'm going to run through a video, just a short clip that everybody can take a look at, and then we'll have some quick discussion. Okay. And I just wanted to talk to the team about you know, the video itself, and then again, if this is open this is an open discussion, so feel free to comment, take yourselves off mute if you want to, but I'm not sure if anybody noticed the focus here in this, as much as it's, you know, a little humorous or, you know, it's fun, right? But the focus here is people are working, trying to find a space to work in that, instead of, you know, being in your kitchen and eating while you're working, or working off your couch and kind of not realizing that, hey, you know, I'm texting with my friends and now it's evening time and I didn't do anything at work. Trying to find, you know, a space that you'll call your office or a workspace where you can concentrate on doing your job. So not sure if anyone there can relate to that, but it took me a number of, I'd say weeks, maybe even more than a month, to just find a space that I work in consistently and that I can be comfortable in and kind of turn that into my little office.
Yeah, I could relate to that. Being initially when it was lockdown, I didn't have any computer. So for about a month and a half, I wasn't actually working. And then they finally sent the computer. and I was at my dining room for about 3 months at the table, and it was heck on my entire body. And then eventually they sent the desk, and then it was a matter of trying to find a place to put the desk. And I wanted a window seat because I said, at work, I said, if I don't get to see out the window at the office, I may as well. I've got a big window here, and set it up in such a way where I could see out the window. But then that didn't end up working out the way that I wanted it to. It was too cumbersome in my actual living space. So then I had to rearrange my dining room and everything like this to be able to accommodate the desk and the chair. And every now and again, it's still an adjustment. Like in the video where it shows he has to, proper ergonomics and all of that. And even remembering to get up and stretch sometimes I'm
awesome.
Like I'm in it, and it's 2-3 hours go by and I'm wondering why my neck hurts. So yeah, it's definitely an adjustment, but
for me, Mark, was a huge transformation being at my desk, because I didn't have the luxury of kind of changing locations because I do a lot of presentations. So it's not only my background, but my desk as well. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, I'm on a stool. So I'm not necessarily sitting, I'm just on the edge of my stool. It seemed like I'm sitting, but it took a while to get here because where my computer is really elevated. And you should see you see all the boxes and books and all these things I put up. And I went on, after a while, it was too much, right? Yeah. And, I went on Amazon and I get this really cool folded multi-level dynamic stand for your laptop, right? And so I can adjust it anytime I want. So that video kind of reminds me of that. But and what's more interesting is I even talked to my wife the other day. It's like I'm finding myself ironing more than before because my t-shirts, it was on my shirt and I don't have to iron it. Now I'm presenting, I'm in my t-shirt. So most of the times I have to iron it.
So I think you guys touched on some really important parts I'm going to just kind of talk through a little bit. But the ergonomics is very important. Your workspace is very important. If you spend the majority of your day in a certain position, then you should put some focus to that. And hopefully, if everyone can afford it, I mean, invest in yourself, right? And invest in making that space your space so that you're comfortable, and that 10 years, 15 years down the road, even a year or two down the road, you're not paying for it because you're not comfortable, and now you have some sort of chronic pain, right? So I'm just going to talk through a little bit more, and that kind of fits into where Danielle was going, where Oliver was going with this, and my question is, does anybody feel this throughout the day? Are you feeling you're sitting there, you're working, your head's hurting, your back's hurting, your neck is hurting, your shoulders are tight? That was me definitely back in April, like even in the summer of last year, just feeling really uncomfortable in my work environment. So again, I know, Camille, you were looking forward to me doing this section, but maybe more others out there are feeling similarly through this. And I will walk into the next section, which is just kind of, I did a little bit of research around, and found there are 5 main reasons why people feel pain and discomfort at sitting at a computer. So I'll quickly walk everybody through this. And again, if you have comments, feel free, go ahead and you can share. So some of the main causes of neck and back pain. So I was reading a little bit about this, and neck pain is one of the most common musculoskeletal conditions reported. We need to ensure that our equipment is set up properly, and we modify, the workflow or your work area as needed, right? And some of those reasons are, postural strain, which I'll talk about a little bit in a second, desk setup, monitor setup, having a proper office chair, and stress. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail around each one of these, and then we can kind of talk through it. Are we okay? Any comments in the comment section there, guys?
Danielle said yes, yes, and yes.
All right, cool. So let's go into postural strain. You know, one of the physical effects of just not sitting properly at a computer, when you sit for hours, it could cause significant neck pain, back pain, shoulder, and postural strain. Muscles around your spine and shoulder become tense and guarded. You know, you get fatigued muscles, and the more and it becomes more painful as you continue working in the same position. So surrounding your muscles start to contract to help compensate, resulting in significant pain in the neck and upper back region. So a few things you can try here to help with, you know, postural strain is try to limit your sitting. So if you're sitting for a long period of time, try to get up every 20 to 30 minutes and stretch. If you have, there's new things, not new, but there's technology out there, and I think Oliver, you just alluded to it. There are stand-up desks that are out there as well that are available that you can use, and they're very useful. So Camille and I are kind of talking about getting that, and instead of I sit for a long period of time because I'm just on meeting. I'm in meetings and on calls and kind of working at the computer. So would be nice to be able to have that option to stand up and just kind of work from there. Taking breaks, very important, and do a little bit of a stretch. Danielle mentioned about that. Making sure that we have a chair that properly supports your body. I'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Support your back and prevent slouching, right? And then a few other things that I'll go through again a little bit later on, but we've just got to make sure that you're comfortable in your position, like I mentioned before. The desk, your desk setup. We went through this in the video, but it's very important to make sure that how your desk is set up helps you to move around naturally around your keyboard and your mouse, you know, as you're working. So if you have an opportunity to get a keyboard tray or drawer, it helps. But you also just want to make sure that you have enough space around your desk, right? So if your desk is too high, it'll compensate with you shrugging your shoulders, right? To elevate your forearms, wrists, and hands. So when you're sitting up like this, you're tense around your neck, and that causes some issues. And it leads to headaches. And I suffer from headaches from time to time. So part of that could be, you know, just my work environment. But if your desk is too low, you're going to be forced to flex your trunk to use the keyboard. And then you're going to extend your neck more than usual. So you might be hunched over or kind of reaching down. Those also, what it does is it shortens your occipital muscles at the base of your skull, leading to muscle spasms, neck pains, and headaches as well. Just some quick helpful hints. You know, your laptop, your PC, and the monitor should be about arm's length when you're sitting. So you try to adjust your surface. If you can move your monitors back a little, it helps to keep your body in more of a natural position. Your arms at your sides, your elbows should be bent about 90 degrees when you're typing, right? So that's important. Like I mentioned before, your desk should be large enough so that you can have some space for yourself. And I already spoke about the monitor, but make sure that it's about arm's length away from you so that, you know, you're not too close to everything that you're working through your work. Again, we talked a little bit about this. I won't spend a lot of time, but just make sure your monitor has a proper distance. Like if you're using a laptop, you can prop it up, just put it on a box. We've done that. We've taken Amazon boxes and kind of sat that on top as well. And laptops get pretty warm. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but so if you are using it and you have it like directly sitting on your skin or on your clothing, it's not very good for you. So it's better to have it propped up on something. All right. So that's about it from there. Just going into the chair. You know, using a proper chair, very important. Again, you know, people don't think about things like, you know, your bed, something that you spend 8+ hours a night or evening on, sleeping, hopefully. But you know, it's very important to have a comfortable space and comfortable pillow, comfortable bed that you're sleeping on. The chair is very similar. I mean, if you're sitting in a chair for hours at a time, it's something that think about making a little bit of an investment in, because it helps. And office chairs can be expensive. But you know, if your business, your company is offering to support you and purchase one, or you can expense it, please go forward and do that. But also, just personally, if you can get one for yourself, you know, the office chairs, they adjust in many different places, as you can see on the screen here, but it gives you a full back. So you can, you know, you rest your back and make sure that you're not slouching. We can adjust the chair arms. I'm kind of doing it here, but you can't really see, so that I have that 90-degree angle, so that where I'm typing, that you can do that as well. And then just making sure that you're comfortable and the tilt is right in your chair. It really goes a long way. All right. Last point that I wanted to talk through here is just about stress. And I know Danielle will talk a little bit about that as well, just through her session in tonight. But, you know, we are all under pressure in a lot of different ways. And it's usually overlooked as a source of neck pain and discomfort, right? So I'm just gonna read here. It says, when we experience stress, our shoulders begin to elevate as a part of our flight and fight response. This position activates and fatigues muscles in the neck and upper back, and that's why you get a lot of that soreness. So to relieve stress, just here's a couple of pointers, but set realistic due dates when you're working, right? So try not to put yourself into too much pressure around trying to get things done. Break your projects into smaller, actionable steps, use stress balls. If you have that, I'm a fidgety person, so I kind of like to have things, that I can squeeze in my hand, so that as I'm kind of working or talking or doing things. And I find that helps. Adopt a daily mindfulness meditation practice. And then perform stretching exercises. So some of those, we'll see, and I've got a short video here as well, just to kind of end this off. But, you can lie on your back in a dark room for a few minutes, put a towel or sock with the tennis balls under the base of your skull, and then kind of press gently around that area to relieve some pressure, and then focus on breathing and take slow, deep breaths. Any questions, comments? All right.
Mark, you have a ton of comments. You have a ton of comments in the chat.
All right, you want to go through them?
Beverly, would you mind?
No, I just want to make sure that I can get back. Not sure how far back I need to go.
Sorry about that. I didn't realize.
Yeah, I was kind of peeping it, but I'm just going to start from here. Stan, who is this? Candy said standing feels so much better sometimes. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
This comedy. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Wayfair has good office chairs.
Okay.
And then Candy put a link. Beverly and I both have a link for anyone that wants the mats for under your chair, hardwood or carpet.
I might be reaching out to you for that.
Okay,
That's
no
one thing I don't have right now.
Oh,
yeah.
They're awesome. They're awesome.
Yeah. And I find that, the office chairs, if you have like wood floors or whatever, they'll pretty much tear up your floors. So
yes, it will. Yes, it will.
You don't
Definitely.
put something under there.
Yeah. So I could actually post that on the portal though too.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
I'm going to show a short video again, just to end this off. But let me just play this, and then we can end it up. Okay. Thank you. I hope that most of you had found something that you could have learned from that session, or found something that you could take away. But I appreciate, like I said, appreciate your time. Thank you guys for listening. And next week I will be back with something new, something fresh to talk about. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Just to wrap up that session, there's a couple of comments. One was from Marva. Thank you, Marva. I found that when I'm sitting on the couch with a laptop, then I use a desktop. I guess she was just referring to what you're talking about. It's a good investment, prevent carpet tunnel.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
she kind of realized the difference.
Yeah.
And Ingrid said that the shoulder issues are so real. Experienced that for years. Now I'm working on releasing it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've lived it and I've felt it, and I know Camille's lived it and feels it as well, but it makes a difference, just the height that you're actually looking at computers and laptops and how you're working, right? And how you're sitting. Your posture is very important.
Mhm.
My neck, I've had neck and back pain for, not back, but neck and shoulder pains for quite some time. And it's only been lately that things I've been feeling, a lot more comfortable than I ever have. And that's just from changing my environment and where I'm working, right? So again, thanks for the comments. It was great, guys, everything. Thank you for that.
All right. Well, thanks, Mark. Much appreciated and great tips as usual.
Thank you.
And our next is going to be Oliver. We've seen video from Oliver before, words of wisdom. So I'll pass it over to you, Oliver.
Sure, thank you. So this week's words of, oops, my internet seems like it's unstable. I just got a notification it was unstable, but this week, words of wisdom is gonna have a little bit of twist on it. I stumbled upon this, I think it was last November, and I thought it was pretty cool video that I saw on Facebook, and I'm like, wow, and it's just talking about culture and Caribbean culture, and I found it very entertaining. So I hope you guys do as well. And if you have any question after that, we can, but it's not necessarily. So let me just share my screen and just give me a thumbs up if you can hear when I'm playing it. Let me just bring that over. Let's press play.
So there's a gentleman on a post going in about the fact that why would Jamaicans want to portray themselves as such uneducated buffoons by displaying patois on social media. Now, of course, so the people them handle them. But at the same time, I'd have to wonder, which I did put on the post, I wonder if the gentleman is aware of the Gullah people. That here in these United States, I'm going to speak on the low country.
What happened? Can you still see my screen?
It's
No.
just black. Says they're experiencing trouble.
Yeah.
Might just have to refresh it. Sometimes YouTube will do that.
Oh.
And then if you refresh it, it'll come back.
Okay, let me share it again.
When you see somebody start talk fart, you can't.